Yeah. Solid Hill TDS, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W. Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. Hey. L Boogie with the hot flame, ashtray full of top names, little tree for your membrane. This the 9-hour time frame. I just snatched up a 6-pack, got my hands on a lid pack, whipping up a little batch of snacks. Yeah, man, I think I'm all set. Late night, can't sleep. Go ahead and just tap in. Better grab you a cold one, and we about to get some laps in. Wild card on the microphone, he'll hit you with a couple flurries. Y'all need to just strap in for some entertainment sports commentary. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark.
Yo, what is going on? What is going on, peoples? How we doing today? It's the final episode of the week. Hey, I know I'm a little CP time. I'm tardy. I apologize, but I wanted to make sure that I give you guys a show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm trying to get that the other C part, the consistency part down. I got the content part. I ain't worried about that. I'm trying to get the consistency part down. So to make sure that the same time, every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, we are talking sports late night with you night owls, you sports fans. So I'm trying to get that consistency part down. I'm trying to, all right? Don't be too hard on your boy. I'm trying. Hey, appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the I.O.W. Sports Show Late Night Owl Edition. It's episode 415. As you see, man, we got a lot to talk about. I'm gonna drop my my top 10 NFL teams going in to week 3. I guess it's a form of a power rankings list. I guess so, sure. But my top 10, I'm gonna definitely drop that tonight before the show ends. I kind of alluded to it last night, but I'm gonna definitely kind of jump and dive more into it tonight. Chase Daniel of the facility on Fox Sports 1. He has an interesting take, an interesting trade proposal, I should say. That me personally, I'm starting to come around and think that it's a great idea for all parties involved. We'll get more in depth in that. But definitely want to talk about this topic to begin with. Look, I've been I don't want to say I've been a big critic of this guy, but I will say this. I didn't expect what we're getting from this guy, basically because where he was drafted at. And I'm talking about Brock Purdy. It's his time to shine. I just think there's been a lot of people that's been on that man's neck. I've been one of them, and I can admit that. That says, hey, he's in a great system, which he is. Hey, it's all predicated on that. And to a certain degree, I still think it is. I've been very critical of Brock. I mean, he was the last pick in the draft 3 years ago. Clearly, the last guy, Mr. Irrelevant. What the 49ers are getting out of him is not last pick production. Now that I will not argue, I will not debate, I will not say anything bad about Brock Purdy in that instance. What he has given to the 49ers is not Mr. Irrelevant performance. What he has done for the 49ers is not Mr. Irrelevant production or anything that has Mr. Irrelevant written all over it. We got to remember, 49ers gave away a whole bunch of picks, went up to third to go get Trey Lance. All right. Trey Lance didn't pan out. And part of that reason is because the fact that Brock Purdy has panned out is the reason why they didn't hesitate to move on from Trey Lance. That's a big part of it. We got to remember that. And that's despite whatever trades or picks or whatever that they gave up to go get to third overall to go get Trey Lance. They bit the bullet on it. They said, all right, it didn't work, but this 7th round guy, the Mr. Irrelevant guy, he's working. He's doing something great for our offense, doing something great for our team. Here's the thing. I believe that this is his last year under contract, if I'm correct. If anybody has that in front of them or want to double check that for me and make sure that I'm correct, they gotta start planning on how to make money for him and pay him. This is why I also kind of think you went ahead and you paid Brandon I.O.W. Let him pair with Brandon I.O.W. for the next, whether it's 3 or 4 more years. Get the last 2 years out of Deebo Samuel that you can on his contract. Obviously, I think Christian's rework contract is like another 2 or 3 more years. You rework Trent Williams' contract. I'm pretty sure they'll probably find a way to rework George Kittle. So all those people are going to be the nucleus, I should say, of the San Francisco 49ers is going to be there at least for the next 2 to 3 years for sure. Okay, so his current contract, I believe he'll be a free agent in 2026. So they'll get a couple more years out of him. Yeah. Which here's the crazy thing. So that actually kind of works out for San Francisco. If you think about it, they don't have to really pay him till 2025. So he's pretty much on a real team friendly deal because of the fact that he's Mr. Relevant. So that bodes for them. But if I'm Brock Purdy, if I have a good season this year, I'm not waiting until 2025 to get paid. You're going to have to pay me ASAP. I mean, you went to 2 NFC championship games. You went to a Super Bowl with me as your starting quarterback. I know he didn't finish the one against the Eagles because of the injury. Cool. But still, he got him up to that point. All right. So Brock Purdy has done some great things for the San Francisco 49ers. So if I'm him, I'm talking to my agent saying, hey, I'm not waiting until 2025 to get paid. Let's get this contract restriction going. Let's get it up there. Let's get it on the books and let's get me paid. Because you can't keep paying this man $900,000, $1 million to be your starting quarterback of a Super Bowl caliber team. I just think that's obviously if I'm the front office of the 49ers, I'm holding out as long as possible before I pay you. Because once I pay you, y'all just saw Dak just got $60 million a year. From Brock Purdy, Dak's getting what? Oh, and that man can't get out the second round? I got to get 61. I got to get 62. I can't get no 60. I can't be on the same level as that guy. I'm getting y'all farther. I'm at least getting y'all to the championship game, conference championship game. I'm at least got a Super Bowl appearance. And we'll definitely see what happens, what they do this year when it comes down to January and see what the 49ers are added, what they are actually to do. But here's the main thing about Brock Purdy. A lot of people like me who have been on his head, hey man, you're a system quarterback, you're a game management. And here's the thing about being a game management. We gotta break this misconception that it's a negative, because it's not. If you really think about it, all quarterbacks in the NFL are, to a point, they are game managers. You are managing the offense. You should be managing to keep your turnovers down. You should be managing to make the right reads, make the right throws. You are managing the clock. You are managing to make sure that you get the football to your playmakers and let them do their things. So, you know, to a certain degree, every quarterback's a game manager. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, C.J. Stroud, go up down the list. Tom Brady was a game manager. So was Joe Montana at some point. And yes, is there a difference between the game managers and the game changers? Yes, there is. What I'm saying is that we can't, as sports fans, look at the word game manager and look at it as if it's a negative term, because it's not. There's nothing wrong with being a game manager. There's levels to this shit, though. You know, there's levels to it. I believe there's levels to it. And right now, if you call Brock Purdy a game manager, so what? He's elite at it. He makes the right throws, makes the right decisions for the most part, gets the ball to his playmakers. You know, you can say he's system quarterback, and look, he's been making me eat crow. I didn't think this guy was going to do anything worth a damn being the last guy picked in the draft. Look, we got to remember, most seventh rounders don't even make it to the roster more times than not. All right? So I didn't know if the guy was even going to make the roster. They'd already went all in on Trey Lance. Lo and behold, 3 years later, Trey Lance can't get on the field. And Brock Purdy is arguably on the best football team in the NFC. So, you know, it goes to show you that you just can't always buy into certain things just because of a person's draft status or where they got drafted at. Because Brock Purdy is a proven example that, hey, it don't matter where you got drafted at, is what do you do with the opportunity once it appears. Once it happens for you, you're giving your opportunity to shine. What are you going to do with it? And he's doing his thing. All right. Look, we just got to be honest, especially me. I've said enough about Brock Purdy, but I think he's earned the right to say that, hey, this guy is really doing his thing. All right. He's really doing his thing. But I mean, despite what you think about, I think this is his opportunity to show what he can do. Because the only knock that I really truly have against Brock Purdy is what happens when you are down your weapons, when you're down CMC, when you're down Debo, if you're down Brandon I.O.W, George Kittle, when some of those pieces are missing. Last year, to me, it made a huge difference when he was without Trent Williams and Debo. It made a huge difference in that offense. All right? It made a huge difference. So now, going into their week 3 game, you know, he's going to be without certain individuals. He's going to be without Debo. He's going to be without CMC. All right? And he's going against a Los Angeles Rams team who is a division opponent. They know they know the 49ers very well. They know the Rams very well. They know each other very well. Now, I get it. The Rams are beat up. All right? The Rams are absolutely beat up. No Cooper Kupp. No Puka Nacua. The Rams are still kind of missing some of that left tackle and left guard. So they're pretty banged up. All right, let's just call a spade a spade. They're pretty banged up. But here's the thing. For the people that like me that have been clowning on Brock Purdy, this is the game that we're looking forward to. All right, so take out the injuries to the teams. That's part of football. But look at what he has to do this time. He has to make a statement. He has to show that, hey, despite no Debo, despite no CMC, I got Brandon I.O.W. who's still trying to get into the flow of things. He's missed all the training camp. He's been using practice and 2 regular season games to get back in game shape. Same with Trent Williams. Missed all of, training camp. I'm trying to he's been using practice in the first 2 games to get back into shape. But interesting take right here from your man, Chase Daniel. We'll hear from him more than one time in today's show because I got some interesting things. But here's what he had to say about Brock Purdy.
You thinking about it, huh?
It's difficult for me a little bit because I think it's a bad game, but it can turn into a bad sign.
Elaborate.
Debo Samuel out, for a long time. CMC out, IR. The 49ers are 0-3 with Brock Purdy at quarterback when Debo Samuel does not play. He's the secret sauce when it comes to that. He had 10 targets. He had 110 yards last game. He was really watching the film and the all 22. He was the only guy our guy Brock Purdy was looking at. Brandon Ayuk is not all the way back. I don't know what you see, just conditioning standpoint.
I've been saying that from the get-go.
And it's tough for a receiver to miss. You can't sit out. But at the end of the day, the only reason that it will or will not turn into a bad sign is the guy under center, and that's Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, you've been talked about, and I'm a big fan of Brock Purdy. You've been talked about your entire career. Is he a system guy, or can he be a quarterback like a Josh Allen or like a Lamar or like a Patrick? Can you put the team on your back and can you do something with it? Can you facilitate a loaded roster around you and just, do you win if things go right? Do you win if Kyle Shanahan gives you the perfect play? Or are you going to take it into your own hands? Are you going to, all you have is Brandon Ayuk. And George Kittle he got an IV. He missed the game. You have Jordan Mason. You don't have your guys. Trent Williams even himself said he's 85% back. At the end of the day, can you, Brock Purdy, do what everyone thinks you can't do? Because most people out there think this is Kyle Shanahan's system. I put the onus on you for the next 4 or 5 games to see if you can get some wins. And their schedule lines up well. At the end of the day, Brock Purdy, you play well, the 49ers will win.
You think he will? You think he can do it? Or you think it's more the system? Before I answer, I just want to perspective.
I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah. So, obviously, there's some thought on, from Chase Daniel, but I think he brings up some excellent points. You have to show, and in my opinion, silence people like me who are been questioned. Like, dog, you've been in a great system. You got weapons all over the place. You got the best left tackle in the game, Trent Williams. You have arguably one of the best 1-2 tandems at wide receiver. I don't want to say the best because I don't think they're the best, but I'll let you guys have the debate when you want to put Ayuk and Debo against other wide receiver duos in the league. But it's a damn good one. We can agree to that. You got the best running back in all of NFL. You got a top 3. Yeah, I think George Kittle was a top 3 tight end in the game. So you're not void of any great weapons. You have excellent weaponry. So when you have that much great weaponry around you, that makes it hard for you to shake that label that you're so blessed in the system quarterback. So when you start losing those pieces, you can't let your performance go down because then you'll have cats like me. See, can't do it. Can't do it without Debo. Can't do it without Ayuk. Can't do it without CMC. Can't do it without Kittle. Can't do it without Trent Williams. So when you start losing those pieces, you can't have your game drop. Because all you're going to do is give ammunition for the people to say, see, told you. I think Nick Wright has an interesting take on it just as well. But I just think it's one of those things. Look, because I don't want to hear no excuses at the end of the day. you're going up against a Rams team that's truly banged up. I think they're kind of floundering. Kind of just being there, because they're dealing with a lot of injuries to the key offensive pieces. But here's Nick Wright's take on this situation as well.
Purdy's only played 40 snaps in his entire career. I'm sorry, thrown 40 passes in his whole career with neither of these guys on the field. Mm-hmm. So he will match that in the next week and a half. You know what I mean? So so it will be new. What we do know is without just one of them, the team and he have struggled. Like that, it's not a tiny sample size, not a huge sample size. We can show it to you, I think, with missing either Debo or Christian McCaffrey. Instead of being 12-1, they're 1-4. Instead of having a 4-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, he has a half touchdown interception ratio. Instead of having the highest passer rating in league history, he has a well below average passer rating. So in this limited sample we have, says, oh, it's a big difference. The point I was trying to make is that these are great players that he's missing. I think the Niners, without Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle, now in this moment have league. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Without having Christian McCaffrey and Debo, with the team they're going to trot out there on Sunday, have league average talent.
Okay.
I think that Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle, a backup running back who's played well, but he's a backup, you think above average.
He's not as good of a receiver as McCaffrey, but running the ball.
Put into a game and you're averaging 5.1
right.
That's pretty good.
Sure, but okay, so call it maybe, I was trying to be kind to Brock when I was calling it league average. Like, I think that the silver lining for the Niners is this is actually really good informationally.
That's right.
You're getting to see how Brock will operate under the circumstances he likely will have to operate if and when he gets this big contract. Like
the silver lining is they didn't trade Brandon Ayuk.
Oh yeah, that part
that's a silver lining, right, especially in this situation.
And so I want to say one thing about Jordan Mason's numbers, because I think San Francisco will always run the ball well. Yeah. I think it is almost irrelevant as far as them being able to run the ball. It's almost irrelevant who the running back is. Mm-hmm. The difference is whether or not you're running the ball well while the team is scheming to stop the run, or running the ball well when the team is scheming more to stop the pass. Where I think Purdy has benefited the most from having Christian McCaffrey is teams are out there saying, we have to stop Christian. They can't, and teams are still trying to do that first, so he's getting cleaner looks passing the football. I think at this point, that could flip a bit. Where they're
still based off play action. So if you're defending them, you're always trying to stop the run.
Yeah, but I think that defensively, from Brian Flores went into that game on Sunday saying, okay, if Jordan Mason goes off, we'll deal with it to a degree, but I'm going to make Purdy's life hell. I think that's harder to do when Christian McCaffrey is there, because Christian McCaffrey can ruin your game for you. So it will be informationally really interesting. It is what I've asked to see.
That's what I was saying. If he comes out and cooks.
If he comes out, listen, they have to do great in their next 3 games, because, and we can talk about this more later, but I don't know if we can show the schedule. Rams, who are ravaged by injury, the Patriots, the Cardinals are the next 3. And then I think they have the toughest half-dozen game stretch of any team in the league this year. After that, it's Seattle, Kansas City, Dallas, Tampa, Seattle, Green Bay, Buffalo. So they can't afford to stumble in these next 3, because that middle, the bottom of the first column, the entire middle column, and the top of the second column is brutal.
Look at the Bears there.
I said Buffalo, but I think the Bears defense is quite good. I don't know if you think they have a terrible quarterback playing. They're 1-1. Something's got to be good.
Some pieces right there. Nick was kind of getting off topic, but for the most part, I did agree with some of the things that he had to say. Let's really take a look at the schedule, and this is why I think it's so important for Brock Purdy to play well in these next few games. You have to take advantage of a ravaged injury Rams team. He has to. He has to beat them. He has to. I'm emphasizing that is because it's a division rival. So yes, they know you, but they are just literally torn apart with injuries. You gotta take advantage of that. Okay. next week, the week after that, I should say, they have a good Patriots defense that he's going to face. Let's not act like that's going to be a snooze or a walkthrough, easy W or easy time for Brock Purdy. That's a good defense. And then you got the Cardinals, who obviously know the 49ers very well as a division opponent. And then 4 days later, they got to play Seattle. We already know that's a physical game. That's a good rivalry game. All right. So that's not easy. Okay. Then on the 20th of October, they got to play the Chiefs. All right. After that, Cowboys. After that, Buccaneers, Seahawks again, Packers, Bills, a good Bears defense. All right. And then after that, after the Rams, they get the Dolphins. You know, we'll see where they're at. Lions, rematch the NFC Championship game, and finish with Arizona. This is not an easy schedule to go through. But we also talking about the fact that Brock Purdy is going to be without certain players. Obviously, we don't know how long Christian McCaffrey is going to be out. He's definitely missing the first 4 games, being on IR. We don't know if that's going to get extended. You know, dealing with the not the Achilles, but the calf, which could turn into Achilles injury. You want to take your time with that. So you don't know what's going to be the timeline on his return. Debo dealing with his injury. He's already saying he's going to miss a couple of games. You don't even he's already missed one last week. He's going to miss this week. So you don't want to rush him back as well. So looking at how long some of these guys are going to be out, this is a tough ass schedule. And it's a proven schedule for Brock Purdy. It is a proven moment. I think he can beat the Rams. When it comes to the Patriots, they're going to muck it up. All right. Those Patriots, that defense they're tough. They've been giving fits to the Bengals. They gave fits to the Seahawks, you know, and now the Patriots are 1-1. They ain't got much offense. But Brock Purdy he'll be facing that defense. And that Patriots defense ain't no joke. It ain't no punk. So these next 3 games, yes, you can say, oh, Brock Purdy should be able to manage those and win those, but I don't think they're gimmies. Maybe the Rams, because they're beat up by injuries, but going against the Patriots defense and going up against the Cardinals, who they've already shown that they played tough against Buffalo, could have won that game. Dog walked the shit out of the Rams last week. So, you know, we'll see what more of what they're actually going to be by the time they see the 49ers in 3 weeks. So none of this stuff is gimme for Brock Purdy, but it is his time to shine. It is his time to say, hey, enough with y'all thinking that I can't do it without certain players. I know the numbers are there. I know that the 1-4 wins to losses is there if I'm missing some of these key players. Fine. Cool. Take it as a challenge, Brock Purdy. Take it as another challenge to shut me up, because you shut me up before. You made me eat humble pie. I thought I didn't even know you were going to make the team. Point blank period. You're 7th round, Mr. Irrelevant last pick. And you've managed to not only make a team, but you forced an organization to pivot at their quarterback position after they just gave up a lot to go get Trey Lance. It was pretty much you. Don't get me wrong. Trey Lance just didn't match well in San Francisco. That plays a part into it. But a lot of it has to be the fact that Brock Purdy played so damn well. That's part of it. He took advantage of the opportunity that was given to him, and they looked at Trey Lance and said, I guess we just gonna bite the bullet on and trade that trade that we did to go get him. It is what it is. But that guy, he's getting it done. He's got us to 2 NFC Championship games. He's got us to a Super Bowl. Let's ride. So it's your time to shine, Purdy. It's your time to go and shut some people up, including me. So I look forward to it. We'll probably reconvene and back in 2 or 3 weeks. We'll see who's back in the lineup. CMC, Debo. We'll see the results of these games that Brock Purdy just didn't have those guys there at his disposal, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna keep track of this because I think that maybe Brock Purdy he can do some things to shut a lot of naysayers up. Speaking of quarterbacks, I kind of talked about it last night. Chase Daniel, part of the facility on FS1, had an interesting proposal on the show, and I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid on it. And here's where I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid on it. I'm gonna let him break the proposal down. We'll talk about it because I think it's a very interesting trade, and to be honest, makes sense to me. Once he broke it down, I'll play the clip and then we'll have a conversation about it because I think it makes sense. So let's hear what Chase Daniel says about this 3-team trade for some quarterbacks.
To go outside the box. Well, it's really not outside the box because when I started thinking about this, I think that the Dolphins should not go after Bryce Young. I think the Dolphins should go after Matthew Stafford. Oh! Show the graphic, please. Make 3-team trade, okay? Bryce needs to be traded to the Rams for Stafford, okay, going back to the Dolphins in a 3-team trade. The Rams get Bryce Young, Sean McVay. Okay, they'd have Jimmy G starting for a little bit. You tell me Bryce Young can't be successful in a scheme like Sean McVay's scheme? Absolutely he can. The Panthers get some picks. I don't think it's a first-round pick based on how he's played. I think it's a second-round pick from the Dolphins. I think it's a third-round pick from the Rams. And then the Dolphins get Matthew Stafford. Chase, he just got paid a bunch of money. Take that down. Give him a one shot. He just got paid a bunch of money. His contract runs through 2027, okay? But guess what? Only after this year, he only has $4 million left on this deal that is guaranteed. So if you are selling high, okay, the Rams are selling high to a consensus top 8, top 10 quarterback, and the Dolphins are getting in exchange an excellent quarterback. I think Matthew is excellent. I played with him in 2020. He can do things with his arms. Like the arm talent you talk about, it's so nice. You still get a few good years left in him. Tua's sit him on the bench for the rest of the year. But the Rams, I thought it was time to blow it up after the Super Bowl. Okay, so the Rams, you get Bryce Young. McVay, do your genius. Like, I understand McVay and Stafford are boys, but at the end of the day, I just think this makes a lot of sense because it's going to really tell you, if it's even entertained, how serious the Miami Dolphins are about the team that they have. Are they serious about winning? If you're serious about winning, this makes sense. Matthew Stafford is only owed $4 million after this year. It makes all the sense in the world.
Question for you. Put Chase's graphic back up, Colin, because it makes a ton of sense for the Dolphins. It makes a good amount of sense for the Panthers. You got to make it make sense to me, Chase, for the Rams. Why in the world would Sean McVay, who's had Jared Goff, and Jared Goff wasn't good enough. Why would he, and he's had Matthew Stafford, why in the world would you choose to have to rebuild a broken Bryce Young?
Yeah, I mean, you also got Jimmy G too, and I don't know how we feel about him. So I just think at the end of the day, right, they have no offensive weapons. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua this year, they're on IR. We talked about it in the meeting. Okay, I don't know if Cooper Kupp can be back to what he used to. Puka Nacua is the number one receiver there. So with Stafford, you're 36, going to be 37. We don't know. He's struggled with injuries in the past. He has.
1,000%.
Okay, so if you're the Rams, you only owe him for this year, and you have a $4 million roster bonus due next year. Get him off the cap. Okay, start over. That defense is the cheapest defense in all the NFL. They're only $44 million. You're going to save a ton of cap space to build this back up. So I think that's what makes
my thing.
Hey, call it crazy. I think it makes perfect sense. Here's where it makes sense for Bryce Young. Get the hell out of Carolina. They obviously ain't doing nothing to help you, develop you. They have absolutely pissed on your confidence. They have absolutely done everything in their power to make it seem like you are just a terrible quarterback, which is, I don't think that's the case. I think the guy has talent. His former coaches, Nick Saban, has raved about how great he is. High school coaches. This guy was the number one quarterback coming out of high school. Did his thing at Alabama. I get it. He was surrounded by a whole bunch of talent, but just like to Brock Purdy's credit, he still has to play quarterback and get the ball to his playmakers. He did that in Alabama. Bryce Young, despite his stature, very durable. I mean, the kid can play. Get him out of Carolina. This makes total sense for him. Get him with somebody who's definitely a great offensive mind in Sean McVay. Just like Chase said, I thought that the Rams were going to blow that team up anyway. Jalen Ramsey was already traded away. Von Miller came and helped him get a Super Bowl. He's left already with Leonard Floyd. Aaron Donald retired. So Odell Beckham already been and gone. So when you look at some of the pieces that the Rams went all in to get the Super Bowl and achieved it, they're no longer there. It's pretty much just Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford that are left. And Cooper Kupp, from recent history, can't stay healthy. Puka Nacua having some injury issues. His O-line is having injury issues. The defense is actually solid, young, like Chase said, it's cheap. So if you get Bryce Young, who's only 2 years in on his rookie deal, say you get him now, you get him the rest of his second year. Then you got 3 more years to develop him. And as well, he'll be on his rookie contract. You got 3 more years to help build the Rams back up. He's on his rookie deal. You don't have to worry about paying him for the next at least 3 more years. You don't have to worry about it. Because you got 2 more years on the contract. That'll be 4. Go ahead and accept the 5th-year option. Push the extension back at least another year. That's 3 more years. You can keep building the rest of your team up. You can do for him what Carolina has refused to do. Help get the online. Help get the weapons. Help that young man who has the talent. And McVay can extend his coaching career if he chooses to. I know he's flirted with retired, but if he get Bryce Young, he's getting a young, talented guy that he can help groom. Weed out all the bad crap that has happened to him in Carolina, because obviously it's proven between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, you leave Carolina, you get better. Somebody comes and believes in you, and all of a sudden you get better. So I personally think that works definitely for Bryce Young going to the Rams. For the Panthers, who cares if they get a whole bunch of draft picks? What it does, it helps you recoup some of those draft picks that you used to get Bryce Young. You probably won't get a first in this situation, but you get a couple of seconds. It helps you recoup some of those draft picks that you used to get Bryce Young. And plus, if I'm a player, don't include me on this trade to go to Carolina anyway. I saw what y'all just did to Bryce. I don't want to go there. So get them draft picks, be happy with it. Then you can say, we tried with Bryce Young and try to spin it. But no, you're dumping them off. At least get a second round in return for it. So there you go. It won't equate to number 1 overall pick value, but hell, get what you can. I mean, y'all don't see them care anyway. 2 games in and you're benching the young guy. So take them draft picks. It works out for Carolina. And for Miami, I love Matthew Stafford going there. A veteran presence. You got to understand, Miami did absolutely nothing 2 years ago when Tua's situations first started happening. They should have been already scouting your next possible quarterback. They didn't. He stayed healthy last year. Bravo. Great. In this year, 2 games in, is the same situation happening 2 years ago. But why are you still stuck in the same situation where, we got caught with our pants down again? Damn. Gonna be without Tua for some time. Damn. What we got at quarterback? Oh, man, 2 years later, same situation, and we still got stinking ass Skylar Thompson. You didn't prepare yourself. You did not prepare yourself as an organization to have insurance. Like I said last night, I hate paying insurance every month, but damn it, I don't ever use it. But when I need it, I'm glad I got it. It makes my life a whole lot easier. It makes everything. Insurance helps. Why didn't you not have some type of insurance 2 years ago, Dolphins? So now that you've placed Tua on IR, rightfully so, and you're going to give him his time to make his decision. Do not put him on a time clock. But in the meantime, as an organization, you got to figure out how to keep your team afloat. Because you can hang with Buffalo. You can. You can hang with the Jets. You can. You can hang with the Patriots. You can win your division. But you got to get a quarterback. You got to. Skylar Thompson's not going to be the answer. Make it happen. Get you a veteran gunslinger in there who can still make all the throws. Squeeze the last little juice out of that orange because there's not much left on Matthew Stafford's body. All right. Get what you can for the last couple of years. You ain't got to give up a whole crazy amount of draft picks to get Matthew Stafford. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to give up a one. You might have to give up a two or three, not both, 2 or 3, and call it a done deal. There you have a proven quarterback that can win, a Super Bowl winning quarterback who still has good arm talent, and he can get the ball to Tyreek, can get the ball to Jalen Waddle, can get the ball to a solid tight end in Jonnu Smith, hit A-Chain coming out of the backfield. When they get Raheem Mostert back, hit him coming out of the backfield. You have the capability of a quarterback that can make all the throws. Because you're going to need a quarterback that can make the throws when you got the weaponry that you got. Skylar Thompson ain't it. Sorry. Not sorry. I think the trade makes perfect sense for all 3 teams. So Chase Daniel, if you happen to hear this, you happen to watch this, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on your trade proposal. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I am. I think it makes sense. It makes sense for everybody. I don't think nobody loses in this scenario. I think everybody wins. I really do. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Jump in the comments, like, share, subscribe, of course, and just let me know. I think it makes perfect sense. I think it's something that the Panthers should explore because I think they've already given up on Bryce Young. So get him out of there. Get him out of there. Change the scenery. We come to that time in the show before we get out here, about 16 minutes left in the show. Do a top 10, all right? Going into week 2, last week, I had Chiefs at 1, 49ers at 2, Texans at 3, Lions at 4, Cowboys at 5, Dolphins at 6, Buccaneers at 7, Eagles at 8, Steelers at 9, Ravens 10. So here's my top 10 teams going into week 3. All right. I got the Lions at 10. Look, I know they're 1-1. They played a real close game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. They could have won it. Jared Goff had a couple of bad interceptions in that game. Kind of held the team back a little bit on that situation. But look, Detroit's still a good team. That was a great game because them and the Buccaneers went back and forth, trading blows as if it was a heavyweight fight, and they did their thing. So I'm not going to take the Lions off my top 10, but they do got to drop. They dropped 6 spots from the week before, and it's just because I just think the other teams handled their business. They're also undefeated. Number 9, I got the 49ers down 7 spots from the week previous, just like the Lions. The reason why is because, obviously they lost, but the teams ahead of them are undefeated and handled their business. 49ers, And this goes back to earlier. This is why you look at games like that against Minnesota, because he didn't have Debo, he didn't have CMC, and Brock Purdy played okay. So moments where you like, look at him, he misses Brock, or he misses Debo, he misses Christian, and you can tell. But hey, I will say this: more kudos goes to Brian Flores, the DC, and that Vikings defense. They were all over, bringing the pressure like crazy. They were just different, man. They were just different. Number 8, I got the Bills. They were not on my top 10 week last week, but they are this week. I'm not ready to go full in on the Bills yet, as if they are pretenders or contenders. I mean, they beat a scrappy Arizona team. They outcoached and outplayed a Dolphins team. I'm not sure what to make of them, so I don't know how to really make of two teams that I think are borderline, mid-level teams. In just my opinion, I think the Cardinals are mid. I think the Dolphins are slightly above mid, treading towards good. But then sometimes they do some things. I'm like, But regardless, I will give the Bills their credit in this aspect. For some reason, I don't know what happened with Von Miller. Looks like he's found the fountain of youth, but he's been having a great time getting after the quarterback. Been doing his thing. So I got the Bills at number 8 for them not even being on my list last week. Number 7, I got the Steelers. I know the Steelers offense, they don't look great, but they're doing enough. All right. They are doing enough to make sure that they're getting these wins. Now 2-0, beat the Falcons, beat the Broncos last week. And I know, it is what it is. You're getting W's. All right. One thing's for sure is they're going to play hellified defense. All right. Led by that man, TJ Watt. He might mess around and call it triple-double. Hey, he might mess around and do something crazy this year, like win another Defensive Player of the Year award. For some reason, when he's on the field, that damn defense from Pittsburgh is something different, and it starts with him. I mean, he's electric, like point blank period. Here's what I will say about the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I kind of mentioned it, I think last week. Kill the controversy. Don't let this quarterback controversy start brewing. Make Justin Fields your starter. Just do it. Make Justin Fields your starter because he's the younger guy of the two. Of course, he's had some experience in the NFL. So obviously Russ has. Just go ahead with your future. And if he struggles, you got a serviceable backup. You got a serviceable backup. All right? That's how most teams should operate. Have your starter and a serviceable backup. You have that. If there's questions or anything that Justin has, he knows who to go to in Russ. All right? Say what you want about Russell, but he's been a serviceable quarterback since he's been in the league. We can't forget that he made Matt Flynn in the Seahawks, who they just picked up from Green Bay. He showed out as a backup in Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers went down with a collarbone. Y'all remember that? And then Matt Flynn did pretty well with the Packers. That gets him a nice starter job with the Seahawks. They draft Russell. I think he was the 4th or 5th round. He outplays Matt Flynn. They went ahead and rolled with Russ. So all that money they just paid to another guy, they was like, yeah, he looks better than you. Yeah, we know we just signed you, but he looks better than you. And they rolled with him. Pete Carroll rolled the dice. roll with him. He's gotten into several playoff appearances, won a Super Bowl, went to 2 Super Bowls. And Russ made that decision for Pete Carroll, making him look like a genius. So we can't act like Russell Wilson he ain't trash. Would I put him at the top tier of quarterbacks? For me, no. He's serviceable. I've always viewed him as serviceable. He in Seattle, hey, rock with the run. Rock with the good defense. You just make certain throws when I ask you to. Bootleg, play action, get the running game going. Same thing that they should have did in Denver. That's why I thought it was a great spot for him to either go to Atlanta or Pittsburgh. He lands in Pittsburgh. But in this situation, Russell Wilson, who's not even healthy right now, needs to be the mentor. Go ahead. It's okay. Stay mentored to Justin Fields. Help him see the things that he may not have seen. Just keep helping him. But I think you have to land that starting job with Justin Fields. Because the O-line is okay. I trust his ability to get out of that because he's already dealt with that shit in Chicago of having a little to no offensive line and you still handle business. So I like that for Justin Fields more than I would Russell Wilson. That's just me. Just me. So I got the Steelers at number 7. Number 6, I got the Seahawks who weren't ranked on my list, but I got them on there now. What can you say? The defense is doing their part. This last game they just had, DK Metcalf went off. My man Jackson Smith-Njigba went off. I got both of them in separate fantasy leagues. They got me some great points last week. Geno played well. That's going to be the real true calling card is for the Seahawks is make sure you get consistent play from Geno. So my thing is you look at what the Seahawks are doing. Hey, they doing exactly what they're supposed to. Be competitive. Be around. They got a rookie coach. He got them at 2-0. I think the Seahawks they're going to be better. Number 5. I didn't have them ranked last week. I got them on here this week. I'm not going to be foolish. I'm not going to fall for this. I got the Vikings. I think they're legit, man. I talk about how the defense is doing their thing with Brian Flores as the defensive coordinator. He's got them playing excellent defense, which was your Achilles heel the last few years before he arrived, right? So he's doing their thing, got them playing different football on the defensive side, got them looking good. But I got to be honest, man. I want y'all to see something. I need y'all to see this. Look at this throw. Meow. Look at that back shoulder. 3 49ers. 3 49ers right there. Look at it again. 3 49ers right there. Look at that back shoulder. Meow. If Sam Darnold plays like this, goodness gracious. Hey, say what you want about Sam Darnold. I've had my jokes about Sam Darnold. That's a top-notch throw. That is a top-notch throw. My goodness. So with Kevin O'Connell doing what he's doing with Sam Darnold, what Brian Flores is doing with the defense, whoo, I might have been wrong about the Vikings. I might have been wrong. But they made my list. They made it number 5. Number 4, I just got to say it. I'm sorry, Baker. I'm sorry, Baker. You've been proving me wrong. I thought you were going to lay an egg because we haven't seen consecutive, good seasons from you. And you had a great season last year. You picked up right where you left off. Buccaneers look good. Buccaneers, Saints, Falcons is going to be interesting to watch come January. How those 3 teams are going to be in position for that NFC South. The only team bringing that division down right now is the Panthers. But those three teams right now, man, I can't wait to see what happens when we get down to the last few weeks of the regular season, and I can't wait to see the standings of the NFC South and see where the Buccaneers, Saints, and Falcons are at. I think whew, you're talking about entertainment. You talking about entertaining your fans, your football fans. Those three teams are going to do something special come the end of the week. I'll guarantee you that. I love it. Number 3, this team right here. My goodness. When I saw them put up 47 points against the trash ass Panthers, I'm like, it's the Panthers. But when I saw them go into Jerry's World and do what they did, put up 44 points against supposed to be a good defense, had they way. Did whatever the hell they wanted to. Absolutely destroyed the Cowboys, put them over their knee and whooped their ass as if they was a badass kid that was getting into everything and they needed a good old ass whooping. That's what the Saints did to the Cowboys. There's no ifs or buts about it. Hey, defense, of course, doing their thing, getting turnovers. I saw you, Honey Badger. We miss you in Kansas City, but I'm glad you're doing your thing. Did your thing down in NO. Got you an interception against the Cowboys. Did your thing. But the biggest story is that who is this Derek Carr? Because Raiders fans been dogging on him. Saints fans were dogging on him. Had the franchise. Y'all saw the episode when I had the homie Eastside Treese on here. She did her thing. You know, she's down in the boot. She's down in NO. She told it what it was. Derek Carr got the fan base divided. Didn't know if you root for him, you rock with him either way. But what he's doing right now, everybody's rocking with him. Who part of Who Dat Nation? They all rocking with Derek Carr right now. So what was the change? Dan Orlovsky kind of gives his take on the difference that we've been noticing with Derek Carr.
Yeah, Dano, Derek Carr, and it's kind of funny because I look at him and I've always thought that he's got a lot of Dan Orlovsky in him. And I'm just curious. Every year he kind of has he'll have a really hot start and then he'll have multiple games where he kind of falls apart, doesn't look great. But I don't know why everyone's laughing right now. I don't know either. That's a pretty fair take.
It's a compliment, right?
Which compliment. Clearly it's a compliment. But do you think we're going to get that this year, Dano, or do you think Clint Kubiak has kind of unlocked something in Derek Carr that he hasn't had for quite some time?
I thought you were on my team.
I am.
You see what Derek Carr just did?
Yeah.
Front runner for MVP.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, dude, I think, Clint Kubiak, obviously his dad, Gary Kubiak, longtime stud coach in the NFL, one of my favorite coaches I got to play for. I think Clint Kubiak is to Derek Carr what Bobby Slowick was last year to C.J. Stroud.
Right.
Number one, he is constantly putting the defense to play hesitant and in conflict with, putting him under center, using motion at the snap to kind of create some hesitation, force eyes to pay attention to it, play defense, make defenses both at the linebacker and defensive line level to just play a little sideways. I think number two, they're committing to protection with him. A lot of their play action passes last week were 7 or 8 man protection. You're making sure that you're giving him clean pockets. Like Micah Parsons, like in basketball where you hear, like, where's Micah on this one? He's front side. Dude, you got a tackle going out to Micah, and then you have a back going on an outside zone fake to Micah's hip. So that helps the tackle. Mm-hmm. That also forces just another body. So you're minimizing that best pass rusher. Shaheed is an absolute burner. So I think you're seeing, indeed, but this, like the splits, you're creating leverage for these guys. No hands on at that wide receiver. He's head up on that safety. I think Derek Carr's got a ton of confidence in that right now.
Yeah.
And so I think, I'm obviously a massive fan of this system. It's the one I grew up in. I think all the great offenses in the NFL, basically outside of Kansas City, run it. And the best thing is it forces every time a ball gets snapped, the defense plays with a question mark rather than an exclamation point.
Yeah. So there you have Dan breaking it down. That's what happens. I mean, that's what it do. When you make defenders guess, you got them eating at the palm of your hand. Clint Kubiak is doing a phenomenal job with Derek Carr down there, has him playing good football. Depth on the offensive side. Dennis Allen, who's more of a defensive coach, has them playing great defense. They weren't ranked on my list last week. They go all the way up to 3. I mean, they look like a damn good team. Just got to be honest. Number 2, I got the Texans. They moved up 1 spot from last week. Hard-fought victory against Chicago. I think I got to give Chicago's defense a little bit more credit. They are better than what I thought they were. They damn sure played like it because I thought that was supposed to be a dog walk. They were supposed to. Houston's defense is top notch. They can go against anybody, without a doubt. Anybody. Yes, including my team, the Chiefs. They will give the Chiefs, when they play them later on in the season, they're going to give them a fit. They got after Caleb. 7 sacks. They got after it, without a doubt. They got after it. But no, the Texans, I got them at number 2. They're just good on both sides of football. Point blank period. Even when things kind of weren't going their way, they still find a way to get their offense going when it mattered. Get a couple of touchdowns, get a couple of field goals against a very solid Bears defense, like I said last week. Phenomenal. And then, of course, number 1, the Chiefs. Look, it wasn't pretty. Who would have told you that Patrick Mahomes would have less than 200 passing yards in both games? Didn't play well against Cincinnati. Was okay against Baltimore. I think he has about 3 interceptions already in these 2 games. The Chiefs have lost the turnover battle, lost their running back, had to bench their left tackle. One wide receiver who was supposed to help them has already didn't even touch the field except for preseason. He's already out for the season, and Marquise Brown. What else is going to go wrong with them? Travis Kelce is having a slow start, but I'm not reading too much into that. I just think it's, why force feed him the ball? You don't need to. He still garners attention, so let him kind of, slash decoy get his targets when you can, but you don't have to force him the football. As you can see, Rasheed Rice is a valuable wide receiver option. I'm pretty sure you can get the ball to other people if they happen to be open, and Patrick trusts them to catch the damn ball and hang on to it. But hey, I just think the Chiefs are still finding ways to win. It missed me with that. The refs bailed them out every game crap. And I'm not trying to hear that. Not only because not just because I'm a Chiefs fan, but it's just lame. That's a loser mentality to always blame refs. It's rigged. The refs bailed them. No, stop it. All right. Even Zach Taylor, the Bengals coach, in the press conference after the game, hey man, the refs, I think they officiated it pretty much straightforward down the middle. That's what I saw too. All right. So if he ain't bitching about the call, y'all shut up about the damn call. All right. You miss me with that shit. Look, you got to beat the Chiefs. You can't. And I'm talking about not only you beat them, you got to beat them. You make your mark. You got to show them who's boss. You got what they has by 14, 20 points. Point blank period. when you shoot for the king, you best not miss. They've been the king the last few years. You got to take them down. And I think they gotten better with certain pieces, but like always, they always kind of self-sabotage themselves, especially in some of these big moments. They got to clean it up. So that's my top 10. Again, Lions at 10, 49ers at 9, Bills at 8, Steelers at 7, Seahawks at 6, Vikings at 5, Buccaneers at 4, Saints at 3, Texans at 2, and of course, Chiefs, reigning defending Super Bowl champions, back to back. Looking for that 3-peat. They stay at number 1. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna go lay it down. It's been a long day for me. Long day. I don't even know that half, y'all. A long day. But hey, I thoroughly enjoyed chopping it up with y'all, talking sports. But you know what it is. Going over to I.O.W Sports Network. We have Facebook, YouTube, Instagram pages, all at the bottom of that link. You can chop it up with me personally, going over to my Twitter page, ACY Carmar. And yeah, I'll let your boy. Until then, hey, enjoy your week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. I'll be back Monday with another episode of the Late Night Owl Edition. But you can make sure that on Monday and Thursdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our regular I.O.W Sports Show. So tap in with us again. Hey, man, it's been real. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the love and support. Most importantly, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We out here. Have a great weekend. Peace.
Yeah. Solid Hill TD, yes, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W Sports Network, Late Night Edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild Carmar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Homo Delo, let's go. Man, you don't wanna start.